Hello, everyone. Yes, Peter and Karen, I ran out of time to cook my pasta, so I'm going to have pasta later. But I've made myself some little focaccia toast fingers with this boscaiola sauce on it, so I can get the flavour profile. Double. It'll be great. Hello, Fee and Dave. Hello, Kay. You got in first. Jeff and Sue were hot on your heels. Well, it's a bit quiet today. Craig and Karen and all the Goodman team. How are you? Hello, Rita. Cooking away. David is reducing the coq au vin sauce. Oh, very good. We saw there's little Polly in the background. She's not eating her dinner tonight because Jill and Richard are away, and we're house sitting, and she's all discombobulated. So anyway, she's decided she just wants to be on Drinks with Kate with us tonight. Okay, so Gamay. What do we know about Gamay? Well, it's a grape variety that is often compared to Pinot Noir because Beaujolais is right next to Burgundy, and traditionally Gamay was planted in Burgundy and Pinot Noir was planted in Beaujolais, sort of crossover. And over the hundreds of years that this happened, they kind of decided that Pinot worked better in the slightly cooler, more northern region of Burgundy, and that Gamay was better in the slightly warmer, more southerly region of Beaujolais, and so they split. There's a lot of good Gamay and pretty glugable, easy Gamay that comes out of Beaujolais these days. So starting from your Beaujolais Nouveau and your Beaujolais Village, which can be really simple and easy drinking, all the way through to the cru Beaujolais from Moulin à Vent, Fleury. There's 6 or 7 different cru villages for Beaujolais. I can never remember them all. But my favourites, funnily enough, are Moulin à Vent and Fleury, so I always remember them. I have tonight 2 Beaujolais. There's a little bit of Gamay planted in Australia these days, not a huge amount. I was hoping to get hold of an Eldridge Estate, but I didn't get my act together. So I went down to our local bottle shop in Mount Eliza. Shout out to Stu and the team there. And they didn't have very much Australian Beaujolais. They had a couple, and I decided to go for broke. So I got the Bass Phillip Gamay. It's not as expensive as Bass Phillip Pinot Noir, you'll be pleased to know. But I'm looking forward to tasting that. Haven't had that before. I also bought... Hello, Dan. How you going? Michael, g'day. Beaujolais Nouveau. Yes, indeed. The Concorde was retired. Absolutely. I got a Beaujolais Village as well, the Vieux-Bourg. This is just a little juicy thing from the Famille Piron. Tiny writing. I think I need to go. I'm going back to the optometrist because these glasses are failing me still. So anyway, we're getting there. Tired eyes this week. It's been a big week already, and we've got to Thursday though, so this is great. Unfortunately for me, both of my bottles have got bloody corks in them. So while we chat, I'm going to get the corks out. I'm opening 2 bottles. I'm here by myself. What could go wrong? I told the Eldridge is listed only Gamay. I'm sure someone as connected as you would have no problem, but hard to get. Is list only Gamay? Oh, okay, Craig. Yeah. No, so we have had it in the past. I just left it too late, and they're not open at Cellar Door every day. And yeah, so I just Rita's got a Gamay from New Zealand. I wondered whether you'd got the New Zealand one. Well done. Yeah. So I told Jeremy I'd save some Bass Phillip Gamay for him tomorrow, and I've also told the guys at the wine store that if it's worth tasting, I'll bring it back to them because they don't get very many bottles, and it's $80 a bottle, which is quite a lot for a bottle of Gamay. Although if you're buying if you're buying upper level Beaujolais, then you can easily spend $80 a bottle on that too. So I don't know. I'm not really complaining. Kay has the ethereal, quite nice, albeit a bit young, full of blackberry and strawberry on the nose. It's a 2025 from the Adelaide Hills. It's one of those mass ones from Pinnacle Drinks. Okay. That's a nice looking cork. Smelling the cork doesn't really tell you very much. This cork smells a little bit vinegary, but usually we painted our house the same colour as the renovated Eldridge Estate. Really nice people. Bought the winery for a bargain. Yeah, they are nice people. And David Lloyd, who started Eldridge Estate with his wife Wendy. Wendy died of cancer more than 10 years ago now. But David named a Chardonnay after Wendy because she loved Chardonnay. And David has, as you know, sold Eldridge Estate and retired to Tasmania. So, okay. I've got 2 corks out now, so I can't make excuses about not wanting to pull the cork out of either of those wines. It was a bit tricky to get that one out of the Beaujolais. It's a little bit mucky, but we're okay. All right, put that away. Okay, $17.99 a bottle, she says. The Me Goddard Windmill Block is about $110 a bottle. Yeah, Dave, you can absolutely spend a lot of money. It doesn't matter where you go in the world. You can always spend a lot of money on wine. Now, again, I'm not really sure what shaped glass is better for Gamay. So I've brought my Sangiovese glass and I've brought my Pinot glass. I thought I'd start with the Sangiovese glass and then I'd pop it into the Pinot glass and see how it goes. So it sounds like, Alison, it's a beautiful wine. So it's sort of, I think that with a wine like that, they're trying to sort of take on Pinot Noir from Burgundy. And so they're saying, well, if they're expensive and serious, we're expensive and serious. And the wines are delicious. So, okay. I'm going to get some wine in a glass. What am I going to do first? I'm going to do the Beaujolais first because it was a less expensive wine. It should be a little bit simpler. It should be a little bit gluggier. And it sounds like quite a lot of you are drinking Beaujolais. And Beaujolais is where Gamay originated. So it's a good place to start. Cheers, everyone. My Vieux Bourg, and Peter and Nina are having one of these, I believe. It's a 2023 vintage. Now, just before I go into the wine, my reason for choosing a Sangiovese glass is that when I'm tasting something new, or when I'm tasting things that are not, specific, something that I'm familiar with, I think I always like to taste it in this shaped glass first. It's not as expansive as a Pinot glass often is, but I find that this is the shaped glass that I used for my MW exams. It's slightly larger than a classic ISO tasting glass, but it's the same shape. So it kind of brings a bit of a quality across the board for wine. So this is my technical glass. I do also drink Sangiovese from this glass and Riesling and Champagne by choice because I think those styles of wines work best out of this glass. But if I'm looking to just taste anything across the board, this shaped glass is the most versatile. I find a Pinot Noir glass can sometimes dull certain wine styles down, like a Shiraz or a Cabernet. Sometimes Beaujolais can be a bit heavier than Pinot Noir. Do I have a souvenir glass from my MW exam? Craig wants to know. I have my set of glasses that I used for my MW exam still. They're this shaped glass, but they've got shorter stems because they made them easier to carry. Any crushed ladybird flavour, Michael, from the exam? I think you're remembering my 2004 Pinot Noir bracket. Okay, now what is everyone else saying? Peter and Karen have got the Domenica, which is, I think, Heathcote. Is it a Heathcote wine? Somewhere around there, Macedon, Heathcote, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. Could be Adelaide Hills, actually. No, I think it's Heathcote. Anyway, they've been advertising a bit recently. Beechworth. Yeah, cool. Thanks, Fiona. This Beaujolais, first and foremost, it's much deeper in colour than I'd expect a Pinot to be. So we're not in Pinot Noir territory. Gamay for me, compared to Pinot Noir, because as I say, a lot of people always tend to compare Pinot Noir and Gamay. I think it's not really fair. And I think that one of the issues that I've had with quite a lot of Australian Gamays is that people have tried to make them like Pinot Noir. And it's a grape variety that actually has a bit more structure, has potential for more depth and weight and heavier tannins, and is a bit chunkier. Apples, oranges and clothes pegs, absolutely an unfair comparison, Kay. So deeper colour, it's got a lovely juicy sort of red blood plum kind of aromatic to it. Dan's just side by side the Domenica in a Burgundy glass versus the Riesling glass, and the Riesling glass made it a lot greener. Well, that's very interesting. Yeah, I think that this glass will pick up less appealing characters, whereas the Pinot glass will smooth it out a little bit as well. This wine has got really lovely, almost like cooked plums, like when you make a plum tart or a plum cake. And it's got a bit of vanilla and a bit of sort of buttery cake kind of aromatics coming through as well. It's got a little bit of bubblegum note from a bit of, I think there's a little bit of carbonic maceration in there, and that's where Beaujolais, the lesser Beaujolais, the cheaper Beaujolais, your regular Beaujolais and some Beaujolais Village, is where carbonic maceration was really invented and embraced. The rest of the world's kind of taken it on as a way to make wine that's a bit more gluggable. This one doesn't have a huge amount of that lolly shop bubblegum kind of aromatic to it. It's got a really nice, so it's got like a sort of a candied parsnip note to it. You know when you cook parsnips in brown butter and then you add a little bit of honey to it, like carrots, but it's got that sort of parsnips in brown butter and then you add a little bit of honey to it, like carrots, but it's got that sort of parsnippy sort of green note, but with a sort of a almost candied toffied honey kind of a note on top of it, which is really intriguing. David is having coq au vin with David and Fiona having coq au vin with potato and Jerusalem artichoke mash and green beans. That would be awesome for Beaujolais. I'm going to taste this. Craig is saying his Beaujolais is chalk and cheese from a Pinot, as is this one that I'm drinking. It's got this lovely, again, plummy fruit character on the palate. It's got a little meaty kind of sausagey note, which is why I thought that this pasta dish would go well with it. It's got a few little herbal notes, but it's really juicy and mouth coating. It's got a sort of a dark sort of violet-y note to it as well, which is really appealing. Peter and Karen has more of a Riesling glass, Dan, and I would agree with the green. That could be the Domenica wine. I'm going to put this in a Pinot glass now that I've sort of had a bit of a look. I really like it in the Riesling glass, actually. No, it's gone. I'm putting it back. I'm putting it back in here. I reckon the Bas Philip's probably made to go in a Pinot glass, but I'll have to work that. I'll have to work through that. Interesting. Much better in that shaped glass. Much more concentrated. It's so different across the glasses. If you have got a couple of different shaped glasses to play with, please do. This is a really good opportunity. Always, it's fun to play with different shaped glasses. But I like the precision and the focus of this wine in this glass, and in the Pinot glass, it just kind of, it's like all the aroma kind of floated off out into the sides, and it was really disappointing. Smoother and better integrated, Dan's saying, in the bigger glass. Well, I think if one of the things I love about Beaujolais Village is that the shape of the tannins are really different as well from Pinot, but there's a softness and a juiciness. There's a little bit of a graphite kind of bitterness on the finish of this wine, which is really lovely and makes me want to taste it with food. So I'm going to have it. I'm going to steal a little bit of my focaccia toast fingers with spaghetti sauce on it. Michael, so strange in a washed Vegemite glass. If you wash your Vegemite glass out with wine enough, then it'll taste more and more like the wine as you go along. That is fantastic with that dish. I used some beef mince and a bit of sausage mince in there, and that sausagey kind of, and I used some extra spices that you usually get in sausage, a bit of oregano and a bit of fennel. And those flavours just, Kay's just swapped from a Pinot glass, and it's much better. Excellent. I think this is the glass that I'm enjoying this wine out of. I'm going to put some Bass Phillip. I should have bought 2 of each glass, shouldn't I? That's going to be annoying. All right, I'm going to put this in here, playing with my wine. I'm going to put a tiny bit. I'm just going to put a little bit of the Bass Phillip in here first, because I just want to see how it looks in this glass. I just have a gut feeling that this wine is going to be better in a Pinot glass, but I want to compare same first. Oh my goodness. Joan has done a charcuterie plate, and the smoked ham works really well. Oh, that's great, Joan. I think that when I did some Googling, Shell, stop talking to Claude. Is it Claude from the wine shop or Claude the AI? You're allowed to talk to real Claudes, but not AI Claudes. Facing less woody spice than a Pinot, I agree. It's juicier fruit. It's more plummy. It's darker. It's got perfume to it. Craig's saying, I think the flavour profile is just not as deep and complex as a Pinot. Ours runs the razor edge down the tongue and not rounding out the palate. Yeah, when I did some research on what to serve with Gamay, charcuterie came up again and again and again. And I think smoked meats, that meatiness, that salty, meaty smoked flavour. Exactly, Craig. I think Claude might be hallucinating again. Oh, wow. That's really interesting. I like at the moment, I like the Beaujolais Village better. The Beaujolais Village cost me about $30 and the Bass Phillip was about $80. I'm not saying that the Beaujolais Village is a better wine than the Bass Phillip or vice versa. For immediate yum factor, the Beaujolais Village has hit the spot, whereas the Bass Phillip, it's interesting. It's not as concentrated. It is more Pinot-y. It's more perfumed. It's more, I'm putting it in the Pinot glass. It's sweeter fruited, which you'd expect from an Australian version of a grape variety compared to a French version of a grape variety. Australian wines are almost always more sweet fruited than the French. Oh, Peter and Nina are enjoying theirs. Good, excellent. The tannins are really fine and more prominent than Pinot. I agree, Fee. They're almost like graphite tannins. They're kind of like iron filing tannins. You can feel the sort of the granularity of the tannins. really well with the wine, particularly with the Beaujolais. Okay, I've got the best Philip in the Pinot glass now. And it's doing better things in the Pinot glass. I didn't do any research on how it was made, so I can't really tell you what they've done to it or what sort of level they're trying to make it at. But it's a lot cheaper than their Pinot, so I imagine that their lead pencil tannins absolutely down. Which we talk about lead pencil graphite kind of tannins in Cabernet, but we don't talk about it as much in Gamay, but I always find it in Gamay. So it's interesting. So this is much sweeter fruited. There are more green notes in it, which is really interesting. It's like the Dominica, which it makes sense because Bas Philippe is from Gippsland. That's not that dissimilar climate-wise from Beechworth. Beechworth's a bit more inland, so a bit more diurnal variation, but I find there's quite a lot of characters that I see in wines from Beechworth and wines that I see in better parts of Gippsland as well. Although Gippsland Pinots tend to be a bit earthier. There's more altitude K, definitely. Allison's is medicinal. I can't remember what you're drinking, Allison. I think is it a Beaujolais or was it did you end up with something Aussie? I can't remember, I'm sorry. Remind me. But this Bas Philippe is for me, it's a little bit medicinal. It's quite sweet. It's in a kind of lolly kind of way. Michael is saying, sadly, Philip Jones developed shingles and lost his sense of smell, almost ended his vineyard as his blending suffered. I took him to Canberra to lobby for shingles vaccination and it worked. Oh, that's awesome. So I've known Philip for a long time. And I know that he had a bit of trouble with his sense of smell and taste as he got older. I hadn't realised it was due to shingles. But Bas Philippe is now owned by a French Burgundy producer who's I can't remember the name of, but anyway, so Philip's not making this wine anymore. This wine is from 2023, and I think this is past Philip's time. It's a lovely wine. It's just a bit. It's a bit more perfumey, and it's a bit sort of sweeter fruited, but then it's got some little herbally notes. It's really interesting. I'm going to leave that there for a little while so that can air up. Alison's having the Domaine de Colette Village. And you're finding it medicinal, Alison. I'm going to have a little bit more of my Beaujolais because I'm really enjoying that. So when you say medicinal, does it remind you a little bit of lollies? Does it remind you a little bit of bubble gum or licorice straps in chocolate or raspberry jubes? Because that could be from the carbonic maceration. Now, you guys have tasted Magic Stork Shiraz and the Rough Play Pinot. The Magic Stork Shiraz had the carbonic maceration, so you get a little bit of that cough syrup. That's kind of like a little bit like a lolly shop, but a little bit. I sort of know what you mean because mine's got a bit of juby kind of wine. Wine gums. Those kind of hard chewy jubes, the wine gums. It smells a bit like that, which is certainly going in the direction of cough syrup, but not quite as far as it sounds like you're not enjoying yours, Alison, or do you like cough syrup? I don't want to judge, but I think that that is a suggestion that maybe it needs a little bit more air. Keep it swirling. See if you can get it to open up a little bit. A little bit of licorice. Yeah, maybe not loving it. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Well, Alison, I think you bring up a very good point because, hang on, I'm just going to have a little bite of my snack. So, Gamay is a grape variety. Is quite cool with sommeliers and generally geeky wine folk. I've always struggled with it. Every now and again, I'll have one that's really yum. Karen likes cough syrup. Southern Comfort might buy one for her. Craig, behave. It might also be the oak that they've used, Alison. When Craig said Southern Comfort, I thought maybe some oak, some sort of vanilla-y, coconutty oak might be in there, sort of making it look a bit cough syrupy. But okay, back to me. I've struggled with Gamay over the years. And Beaujolais and Australian Gamay are both wines that I haven't really gravitated towards. I guess I've been a little bit of a Pinot snob, and I kind of go from, if I'm in France, I go, yeah, Burgundy, yeah, Northern Rhone, yeah, Southern Rhone. I kind of skip Beaujolais. In Australia, I sort of, again, I'm sort of like big fan of Pinot Noir, really like Grenache. Shiraz, when it's done well, I also quite like. And Gamay as a grape variety in Australia, I think, as I said before, has been treated a little bit too much like Pinot Noir and hasn't been allowed to kind of express itself fully. It's a little bit softer. It's maybe being picked a little bit less fruit ripe because it's ripening faster in the warmer Australian climate than they have in Beaujolais. So maybe in Beaujolais they're having a longer, slower ripening period, so you get more flavour from the grapes before the sugar levels and the acid levels get to where they need to be. Okay, what's K? K. I started my drinking spirit journey on Southern Comfort. Used to buy it by the jug with Coke with friends on Friday night discos with Molly Meldrum at the Mountain View Hotel. Wow, that's a lot, Kay. I can tell you right now, we're not going to do a Southern Comfort night because it's one of the few things that I cannot smell or put in my mouth. And I only ever had Southern Comfort and Coke once in my life. It was at a pub in the UK with friends, and we had no money. So I'd had 2 pints of beer, and then the third drink that we had, and again, I was like 19, like my liver was shiny and new, and my brain cells, all of that stuff. And we had one Southern Comfort and Coke, which I hated, but I thought, well, we've paid for it now, I've got to drink it. And I was ill all night, and I've never been able to smell the stuff again. So there you go. That's my Southern Comfort story. Back to, Shell, the Domaine Ghiaccio Fairchuck is so different to the Beaujolais Village. Pink mustics, possibly what I imagine Swedish fish. So yeah, that wine will be very, very carbonic maceration with all those lolly smells. This has got a little bit of pink mustics in it as well, the Vieux, which I hadn't picked up until you said it, Shell, so thank you for that. Michael's saying Riesling can taste like petrol, so lay off cough syrup. Thank you. Thank you very much, Michael. Is it fair to say it's like Pinot and Cabernet made a love child? I think that's not a bad sort of description, David. There's or maybe Pinot and Merlot. It's a little bit softer than Cabernet. Karen buys Cru Southern Comfort. That's all right, Karen. We can still be friends. Just please don't ask me to ever drink it with you. Jeff, is marketing an issue as most people would not be familiar with it? I think that's a good idea. That's a good comment. Sommeliers love it because people are not familiar with it, and they can kind of get people onto it and get people excited about it. Because we have such a broad differential between your Beaujolais Nouveau and Michael referenced it before. We don't get Beaujolais Nouveau in Australia anymore because Australians are not stupid. Beaujolais Nouveau was an idea that came out in the 1980s, where the Beaujolais producers would sell the wine as soon as it was bottled. They'd bottle it early. They'd sell the wine as soon as it was bottled, with a special label on it with lots of flowers and birds and things on it. Called it Beaujolais Nouveau, and they shipped it out on the Concorde to America, and sent it to England post haste. When it came to Australia, it still took too long because we didn't have the Concorde coming here, I don't think, did we? Anyway, it took longer for it to get to Australia, and so it wasn't, so we didn't, it was very expensive to get it here. So it was twice as expensive, and by the time it got to Australia, it was pretty much the same as a normal Beaujolais Village, which they released 6 months later. Same wine released 6 months later, which is the normal time to release it. And with a normal label on it, but they could charge twice as much for the Beaujolais Nouveau because they had this big party. And you'll be unsurprised to hear possibly that Beaujolais Nouveau still does quite well in America. I think it's the only place where it gets shipped to anymore, but it's a good idea. Karen, there's a good comments on Southern Comfort. I can keep my 100 proof Southern Comfort a secret. Back to the wine. It's changing much quicker in the glass than Pinot. I see 3 clear flavours come to the front so far. I agree, it is evolving a lot more. Craig's seeing the must-stick comparison as well. Yes, it was Pinot that did you in. Oh dear, Alison, that's a shame. Jeremy has Southern Comfort once in 1997. Jeremy, hi, welcome. Jeremy, I'm sorry, do you have a Beaujolais with you? I hope you've got something in a glass anyway. The Tamata Gamay 2025 from Hawke's Bay is delicious with the food match. Excellent, Rita. I'm so glad to hear. Shell's wine is opening up now into red cordial. That's exciting. So there's a red cordial kind of raspberry, plum, strawberry kind of a note to it. A lot of people talk about Beaujolais particularly having sort of strawberry aromatics to it. Hello, pussycat. Little pussycat down at my feet saying that he didn't like his dinner today. It's really awesome how the wine keeps changing. And yes, Shell, if you change to a Riesling glass, it might slow things down a little bit. But Beaujolais Nouveau was such a London thing. It was a very American thing. It's quite funny. Jacobs Creek Nouveau, yes, Craig. I think they borrowed it from borrowed the idea. But yeah, so Beaujolais, normal Beaujolais is pretty normal. Did he get birdseed again? Poor kitty. I know, Fee. I did not feed him birdseed. That birdseed was sitting there waiting for the birds to come, and he'd eaten his food, and he decided to tuck into the birdseed the other day, hence the photograph. Kay's enjoying her $17.99 bottle. That's great. No, so the cat is being very fussy, Fee, because Mum and Dad bought the wrong type of human-grade kangaroo meat for him. It's the stir-fry cut rather than the sizzle steak cut, and he doesn't like the texture, presumably, that the stir-fry cut gives it. It's also a little bit old. Jill and Richard have gone away for a week and left me with the cats, and they've left 2 packets of kangaroo meat in the fridge, and this one was not opened. It was a bit old, and I've tried it on the cat, and he's like, nope, I'm not eating that. So maybe if he gets really hungry, he might get there. Shell, cats are very funny. Poor starving cat. I know, it's so hard. And he also got some of the, cat people will know about this. I was horrified when I went shopping for Mum and Dad last time I was looking after the cats. But they buy these little dishes about that big. They're round. They've got a little plastic top over them. They've got a bit of cardboard around them. I think the brand is Dine, and they come in different flavours. They're $5 each, and these cats get half of one every morning and every night. So they're pretty lucky cats. And so if he's not eating his food, I say bad luck. He can go and catch a bird, or mouse. Go and catch a mouse, not a bird, no birds, just the mice. Get new Kanga for him, Alison. Oh, God. All right, tomorrow I will. The flathead tails would be probably a better idea. I reckon Mum and Dad's cats wouldn't eat flathead tails. They're bogans and fussy. They only like kangaroo and dine special things. I know, Alison, it's outrageous. I thought that dog food was expensive until I went and bought this bloody cat food. Anyway, got to spend our money on something. This wine is now smelling like, okay, this is very specific and not many people are going to get it, if any of you, but Haig's Chocolate does a dark chocolate violet cream truffle, and this wine smells just like that now. Jeff, small birds only. Try feeding horses, says Kay. Yes, indeed. Or ravens. Yeah, the problem is that they don't differentiate between the cute little parrots and the sparrows. So yeah, Leo has gold-plated food and it doesn't cost that much. Polly as well. Polly has chicken drumsticks that I lovingly cook for her. Anyway, okay. Jeremy doesn't have a Beaujolais in his glass, but he can say the Shiraz we now have in barrel today that spent the last few weeks in a bag full of CO2 and has now finished fermentation and looks very Cab Macish. Thank you, Jeremy. That's very good. David, don't tell people that. We don't want to shame fee on the flathead tails. And when you catch them, then they're free. All right. So, Jeremy, I'm going to keep you some Bass Philippe Gamay, and I'm going to keep you some of the Vieux-Bourg Beaujolais Village as well, because I think they're both really different, really interesting. Oh, my God. The Bass Philippe has just changed enormously. I'm so glad I went back to it. Not because I'm loving it. It now smells like banana lollies. You know those foam banana lollies? Not my favorite lolly in the world. In fact, I think if I had to vote for the worst lolly out there, it's the banana lolly. And this wine is this wine's doing that now. Oh, that's disappointing. But it's also got this lovely, the banana lolly things there, but you bought them, David. Fair enough. It's also got like a strawberry jam kind of aromatic, which is really attractive. So I'm really divided about this wine. Fee, you and I are sisters because the banana lolly always just really upset me as a child and upsets me as an adult, which is why this wine I'm finding very intriguing even. Hello, Jack. Are you coming up to say hi? Rachel, I'm not sure if the musk stick's pretty terrible, but I think the banana lolly is worse than the musk stick. Okay, loved the banana lolly as a kid, can't stomach them now. No, fair enough. All right, yeah, no, that wine's weirding me out. I'm gonna put some CO2 in the top of it. I'm gonna share it with Jeremy and possibly take it back to Mount Eliza Wine Shop so they can have a taste of it. Look, it's very interesting, and I think that with the food, it's good. But for me, I think Australia still has a little way to go with Gamay. I'm not sure if we've quite got the hang of it yet. That said, we love a banana lolly. They sell drumsticks in a banana lolly flat. Oh, sorry, Craig. I'm just feeling a little ill now. Peter, that's all right. You can eat all the banana lollies. Okay, what did Rita say? Okay, David's 100%, 1,000% with Rita on the musk stick. So Peter and Karen, funnily enough, I actually very much enjoy a banana paddle pop, but I don't like an overly ripe banana, and the banana lolly makes me sad. So I'm just a little bit weird. Craig and the Goodmans are definitely getting violets in theirs. And I'm getting that as well in this wine. So if you haven't had a Haig's Violet Cream in dark chocolate, I highly recommend it. They're delicious. And they taste a little bit like this wine smells. Polly's going for a wander. What's wrong, Paul? You checking out what's happening? You gonna say hello to people? Do you want to come up? Come on, up you come. Up you come. Good girl. There we go. Polly's come to say hello, which means it's probably time for us to finish up. Opened a Shiraz to cook with last night. It was delicious. St. Helens Black. Oh, Alison, that's a fancy Shiraz to be opening to cook with. And it's okay, Alison, if you're not a Gamay girl, because between you and me, I think I'm not a Gamay girl either. I enjoy Beaujolais every now and again, but I'm not going to stock my cellar with it. And I know that's going to upset a lot of my wine friends, possibly some of you guys as well, but that's okay. I'm not offended by Beaujolais or Gamay. I just think there are things that get me more excited. That said, one of these days I'm going to go and visit Beaujolais, and I'm going to eat at their restaurants. I'm going to drink of their wines. I'm going to try and get my head around Gamay from Beaujolais. I don't think we're going to be planting Gamay here at Moorooduc Estate, but I think for those in Australia who are, I think good work, good luck. I think it's a grape variety that I think we're still kind of getting a handle on and starting to understand. Oh, the cat's giving Polly a hard time now. It's all turning into, oh, hello, Jack. Jack wants to be on the telly too. Jack. Pussycat. There we go. Jack was feeling left out and unloved, but now he doesn't want to seem too needy. There we go. That was for you, Shell and Andrew and Fee, a little bit of pussycat stuff. I'm not offended by Shiraz, maybe a little, says David. I know. Well, we made you taste a lot of Shirazes last Saturday, so that was hard work. Hang on. Okay. Just had some Lindt dark chocolate with it. It's all milk bottle lollies. Oh, Shell, that's pretty fun. Give it another go. Back to drinks. What about banana Big M's? Actually, I quite liked a banana Big M, I've got to say. So I'm not very consistent in my likes and my dislikes. Maybe it's a textural thing as well as a flavour profile. Is it worth Aussie wineries investing in Gamay? I don't think it does enough to make a difference. I think there's enough people who are doing it with passion that they can get enough people to drink their wine, and so therefore it's something a bit different. It's a little bit it's a different offering. Craig, what are you saying is a dud wine? Gamay or the? So I had to buy some in my cellar. There is no Gamay. Indeed, Kate, there's no Gamay in my cellar either. I thought there was. That said, if I can buy a Beaujolais Village for half the price of a Bourgogne Village, then sometimes that makes me very happy, because I don't always have $60, $70, $80, $100 to spend on a bottle of Pinot Noir from France, but I do have $30 to spend on a bottle of Gamay from France. So horses for courses, I guess. Peter and Karen had one of the best meals in Beaujolais, restaurant run by Mietta O'Donnell lookalike. Oh, fantastic. More cat content. Shell, the cats are very shy here at Moorooduc. So, Ministry of Clouds has one I got in the top 25 Gamays in Australia. I should have looked in my Ministry of Clouds box. Wonder why Eldridge do a Gamay. David Lloyd loved Gamay as a grape variety, and he really was very passionate about it. So he planted at Rita, and it's in their vineyard. So it's something a little bit different, and a small group of people have a huge passion for it. My distributor in Sydney, hello Jeremy, different Jeremy, loves Beaujolais and imports Beaujolais and makes me drink Beaujolais whenever we're together. And I think there's some really lovely ones. So don't get me wrong. It was good for us to do Beaujolais, good for us to do Gamay. It's been fun. Now, my darling friends, I have a little bit of news for you. Next week, oh, crumbs. Next week, I'm going to be in New Zealand. I've had a look at my schedule. I don't think it's going to be possible for us to get together to drink New Zealand wine together. So I would like next Thursday for you to just entertain yourselves, drink some New Zealand wine if you like. I will send you a little report of my very brief visit to Auckland. And the following week, the week after next, so we're going to have a break next week. You have to entertain yourselves. And then the following week, we are starting box 3. So if you are not a subscriber and you haven't ordered your box 3, now is the time to do it. It's on the website. Auckland, exactly, Fiona. Craig, the Goodmans have Mornington Pinot MW Grenache, so much better than any Gamay. Okay. Okay, you got Craig and his team are at the Tyrrell's release, so happy for a break. Excellent, cool. Ministry of McLaren Vale Grenache is much better than any Gamay. Yes, Craig. Craig and Karen, enjoy Tyrrell's next week. Everyone else, enjoy whatever you're going to do next week. We're going to have a little break. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time with the first wine of box 3. Can't remember what that is, but it'll be awesome. So in the meantime, enjoy your Gamay, enjoy your pasta, whatever you're eating tonight. Have fun. I'll see you in a fortnight. Cheers, everyone. Just checking I haven't missed any important comments. Love you guys. Okay, Shell, a little bit more Jack because he's sitting there looking magnificent. Jack says goodbye as well. Jack. Pussycat. Good boy. There you go. That's for you, Shell. See you later, guys. Love you.